Welcome Brawlers, I'm the Hermit and today I'm bringing you an experimental partner deck. Our two commanders are Thrasios, Titan Hero, and Tymna the Weaver. So in order to take the most advantage of Tymna, I decided to make this an aggressive deck, with the experiment being with an aggro deck with all the colors except red. So we're gonna be playing so that our creatures want to attack, and because we're gonna be wanting to play creatures that tap, all of our interaction is gonna be removal instead of counter spells. So 0 counter spells, a decent bunch of removal, but we're gonna be having aggressive creatures like Cecil, Dark Knight, Discreet Mascot, which can remove artifacts or enchantments, Popatch Recruit, and you're just familiar with can stop our opponent's interaction in some way or another. With the Recruit, whenever one of our creatures becomes targeted, we can put a +1 counter on another creature. And with the Judge's Familiar, we can counter a instant or sorcery unless our opponent pays 1. We obviously also have Esper Sentinel, and we're gonna be playing Bulwark Ox, Invasion of Govakan for protection. We have Shoreline Looter and Silent Hole Creeper as unblockable threats. That way we're gonna be drawing either 1 card or drawing 2 and discarding 1 if we have Cecil on play. In a similar vein, we have Caustic Bronco, Dark Confidant to draw cards. We are playing Routeway Moose. It's an elk mount, and whenever it attacks while saddle, we get to seek a land card. So we get a land at random from our deck onto the battlefield. We have Psychic Frog as well as Emerald Collector as creatures that whenever they deal combat, we're gonna be drawing a card. And if that wasn't enough, we have Enduring Curiosity and Tusky, Bearer of Secrets, so that other creatures are also gonna be drawing us cards. To protect against counter spells, we have Surak and Prowling Serpopard. Surak doesn't stop the counter, but it does draw cards whenever a creature or a creature spell are the targets of our opponent's spells or abilities. Also, we have Good Seed, Malevolent Exemplar. He's gonna stop our opponent from casting spells in our turn. If we go wide enough, we have Rafin, Skimming Seer. Whenever we attack, we get to connive X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. And we also have the Revere Imperial Tactician. Whenever a creature we control deals damage to our opponent, we get to tap or untap a permanent. In this case, we're gonna be untapping lands, so we get even more mana. The biggest card we have in the deck is the Speed Demon. It has Start Your Engines, and at the beginning of your end step you draw X card and lose X life, where X is your speed. So if we play him, then attack our opponent, we're gonna be drawing 2 cards at the end step. And hopefully that's enough to deal with our opponent. We also have the auto includes from Thrasios, Trackhand Trainer, and Training Grounds. For the interaction, we have the Spark, Dire Tactics, Fracture, Vanishing Burst, Abrupt Decay, Obscura Charm, Void Rend, Broker's Charm, Endless Detour, and Sultai Charm. But I think my favorite so far is Urgent Necropsy. As an additional cost to cast this spell, collect Evidence X. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, 1 target creature, up to 1 target enchantment, and up to 1 target planeswalker. So as long as we collect evidence equal to the cost of the exile cards, we're gonna be destroying a decent amount of stuff from our opponent. Or even if we just destroy 1 or 2, it should be good enough to put us ahead or catch us up. So that's the deck, and let's go into the queue and show our opponents we can be aggro without dread. Okay, against Dragaman. What can we even do against Dragaman? Okay, let's see what we can do. Okay, so let's exile you. Let's see what happens from here. Okay, they killed the judge's familiar. They're gonna replay Ragavan. Bloodthirsty adversary. Let's get Thrasios in here. And I guess we can humiliate Ragavan. And flames. Okay. Cecil. He's gonna survive because opponent cannot cast spells during our turn. That's a Thorbrand. Okay, opponent is gonna go for Cecil. In response, we're gonna kill Thorbrand. Well, not kill, just negate his abilities. Okay. Here we go for Cecil, and they're gonna play Ragavan because we don't want to block with our commander. Thorbrand attacks. That's okay. And opponent concedes. Yeah, I guess we had one. We had that one in the bag. I mean, I really didn't think this deck is prepared to go against Hellq decks. Really didn't think it would happen, but here we are. At least we managed to get the win. With a little bit of a heavy mulligan, so good games. Rona, Herald of Invasion. I think they might have a decent amount of legendaries because they can... Okay, yeah, they can draw and discard with Rona, and eventually I think they're gonna be a reanimation deck. But I guess we'll see. Thoughtseize. I think they take Bunnypole maybe. Because the other are just too removable. And why would the matchmaking put us against Rona? Maybe they're also not that great, not that bad. But I fear we should lend a hand to Rona. Our opponent hasn't showed us anything except Thoughtseize, so okay, that is a reanimation card for sure. We're gonna pay the life, even some more life. And we have Urgent Necropsy, which is nice since opponent made us discard Bunny. This is gonna be Spara's headquarters. And if they reanimate, well, whenever they reanimate, we can either kill it with Necropsy or tear asunder. But here they're gonna loot with the Stitcher, or what are you thinking, opponent? You loot? Okay. Shoulder the Apocalypse. I think we will tear asunder. I definitely needed to play mana confluence so that we had just enough low life to transform other Cecil. When this creature enters, search for a card, put it in your hand, and shuffle. Okay, they're gonna get Rune's card team. Oh, I thought that was the reanimation. But they could still have one in hand. Amber. But no creatures, no legendaries in hand. Or in the battlefield. Okay, there we go, Rona. And I fear we must destroy target monocolored creature. And this time we do transform the Dark Knight into the Redeemed Paladin. So what could the opponent have? They needed even more cards in their yard if they wanted to. Okay, Time Warp. If they wanted to mass reanimate. But as it stands, maybe they need a Sphinx. The one that can recast a sorcery or instant. That way they would have a creature and an extra turn. But now it seems that's not what they have. Okay, maybe we should have exiled this teacher. They get Runescar Demon, we're gonna destroy it in response. That way it doesn't matter if they search for mana drain, we still get enough damage on board, and they need to answer board. Meanwhile, we're gonna be hitting them for at least 2 and drawing a card. Fatal Push. And opponent concedes. Yeah, I think they thought we were far ahead. And being at 5 life, they really got scared, I think. Good games, good games. Chico, Paragon of the Way. Maybe they are a control deck. Playing removal spell because Chico can copy, well, can essentially recast a spell from the graveyard with mana value 3 or less. So if they played removal, then they get to Chico and replay some more removal. Since we don't have a turn 1 play, we're gonna get Sparat's Headquarters. Then we're gonna go to our moose, and we need double black and double green. So this is a tomb, overgrown tomb. And it seems opponent is thinking about their lands. Then white did, okay. I don't know why they cracked on their turn then. Maybe just for to speed things up. So we establish this is a tomb. Rootway Moose. And next turn we have either Serpopard or Keep Up Endless Detour. Or even Cecil. We play Cecil, saddle, attack, hopefully get a land, and a card. And if our opponent keeps up mana, we're gonna play the Serpopard, because it can't be countered. Okay. Let's go for it then. Reprieve, okay. Fair enough. Although, yeah, counter spells are kind of bad with Chico because they cannot recast it. But I guess Reprieve was the counter spell that didn't counter. Opponent plays Brainstorm and a fetch land, or just the Brainstorm. I'm gonna look at our sleeves in the meantime. And it seems opponent is really a thinker. Much like the Rodan sculpture. They get their fetch land, and what do they get? The only problem with the moose is we cannot saddle with Thrasios, but pretty much every other creature, maybe something like Scrub doesn't. And they use a bolt on the moose, okay. So here we get our Serpo part. And this is gonna be another Triton. We need more blue and maybe white. So it should be Rafin's Tower. We don't have the Rafin's Tower. Oh, we cannot get it with this fetch land. Right. We play Cecil here. Can't be countered because of our Serpo part. Okay, opponent removes that, and this is gonna hurt. Because they're gonna get Chico and recast Lightning Bolt. I mean, and I think, well, at least for our opponent, this is a good time for them to be playing control, because if this is early in the play session. If it was later, I would definitely not have the patience for them, especially with how slow they are being. Okay, they play Ocelot Pride. Huh. That is a choice for sure. So I think we're gonna pass. And we have our counter spell. Well, quote unquote counter spell with Endless Detour. We have Sultai Charm. Even Murderous Rider, Terrasunder. So what will it be, opponent? Also, opponent is low on life. I think we haven't hit them that much, but their fetch lands are also adding up, as well as even Witch Enchanter. Witch Bless Meadow. Okay, they tapped 1 mana and they chose to pass. That was an odd choice. Okay, they attack with Balmor. Goes Fire Slice. Okay. We kinda need to let it go, I think. So they should have attacked, because they also get trampled, so even if we block. And here we destroyed Ocelot Pride. So I wanna play Esper Sentinel, Thrasios, and keep mana up. Okay, reject. Sure, let's let it counter it. We can pay, but I think it's more valuable to us to have endlessly tour. We're gonna draw with Sultai Charm. Invert polarity from opponent. That's kinda nasty. Let's see if they get... they just get the counter mode. Origin Necropsy. What will you be doing here, opponent? Recruiter of the Guard. Okay, we're gonna send that back. Or actually, let's see what they get. If they, I was thinking if they got a Solitude, that would be bad for us, but if they do, then we just endless detour Solitude. Easy peasy. Okay. Skyclave apparition. Might actually be working in our favor. Flame of Anor. Okay, that's gonna take an endless detour. Okay, we draw Judge's Familiar because they couldn't pay for the Sentinel. Unfortunately for opponent. We have a way to exile Balmor, so they no longer have a wizard. Okay, Skyclave gets the Murderous Rider. Or it can get Judge's Familiar. Up to your opponent. Here we're not longer as worried about Chico because opponent is really low on resources. And even though they have decent cards in the yard, they no longer have a wizard. And okay, that is a draw. So let's get Cecil here and Popatch with Offspring. And essentially, if our opponent uses a removal on either Cecil or their Murderous Rider, we're gonna get our Esper Sentinel to become even bigger. Opponent denying us a card. Let's hope they don't have a rat here. Okay, it's just Chico. And because the way Apnap resolves, they're gonna target something or other. And that's gonna trigger Popatch and the Offspring Popatch. Meaning we get a... okay, my bad. I thought that would only happen if it was a non-creature, but they get Skyclip Apparition and they take our commander. We don't get to draw a card, but the growing part still works. Swarm Saboteur. 0, 1, 0, 0. Needs to be 5. Okay. Okay, opponent lets it go. Here we have 7, 8, 9, 10. So not quite lethal. Yeah, let's see if opponent doesn't block the rider. Okay, so they trade with this recruit, meaning we get our rider back into our hand. And we have murder again. Well, Swift End. Felia. Okay. I mean. And we get a Virus Beetle. So if I was opponent, what would I get with Chico? Maybe Recruiter again? And this time they could go get Solitude. But let's see what they do. They only have 6 mana. Okay, so we are posting lethal. Brainstorm. We gonna get a card. And that's a Raffine. Oof. I think you might be dead, opponent. Huh. So yeah, I think good deck, especially since they also have creatures that they can replay, but as it stands, we just win. And we even got a removal spell. So let's do that. Can't be countered. And it seems like opponent is okay. He was distracted for a little bit, but they just hit pass. Maybe they had something, a 1 mana spell. Who knows? Good games, Chico, good games. 9-foot and Squee. Okay, let's see if we can get something with our Thieving Avian. Less looting. So they're gonna chuck something in the graveyard, which they can later bring back with 9-foot and Squee. Shieldred. The Apocalypse. No, just kidding. Whispering One. Skull Prophet. And what do you have, opponent? So yeah, ideally we would get the Reanimate with Thieving Avian. But it seems like they're gonna get it themselves, victimize. I mean, what can you do against that? I don't know. Matoya Archon Elder. And they start with Agent of Rafin. See how they like our Tamiyo, and I guess Strathan Trainer, and then either Uro or Sentinel of the Nameless City. Emerald Collector. Also, opponent is playing regular islands, which means they don't have Maritlage, I think. Maritlage's Slumber. It's the name of the card I was thinking. Whenever a snow permanent you control enters, you get to scry 1. So that would mean all their lands also scry 1 and draw a card with their commander. Heuristic Study from opponent. I guess we'll be paying the one. Why did I? That was a bad auto tapper. I needed to keep up the blue mana for that. Why would you tap like that? Unable to scream on Tamiyo. And Palantir. So we obviously take damage once. Oh, that's a bad one. Whenever you scry, you get an additional card. And I guess at some point we're gonna stop paying the one since our opponent is gonna be drawing so many cards. We won't be able to fight the card advantage they have. Okay, we are almost dead because of a treasure cruise. So let's get our psychic frog. Okay, opponent steals from us. Yeah, I guess our only reprieve is the fact that our opponent is gonna be really slow unless they get something really good from us. But their wind guns are not gonna be the best. Gonna draw a card. So let's see what you got. 3 months. Okay. Shark Typhoon. No attacks, and we should be using Thrasios here a bunch. So after all of that, the opponent has cards, mana, and even a discount from Sapphire Medallion. We really need to hit lands here. Okay. Emoti. I'm thinking Esper Sentinel is gonna help us. They're gonna try to cascade, so well, ramp and then cascade. Hopefully getting them to pay for their non-creatures is gonna help us. And we also have a couple of removal spells. Here we're gonna get Hallowed Fountain and pass. Okay, we draw a card from Arcane Signet. Now do we want Psychic Frog or Saboteur? Probably the frog. Okay, that's a cultivate, and they paid their one. I think also a good thing about the frog is we can't discard cards, so we have fodder for Urgent Necropsy. And here I want to play Kaito.
Get in, get out. Easy mission.
Let's hit by little then.
Thanks. I'll be taking that now.
Okay, that's Emoti. They cascade into the Fairy Master of Time.
All right. Who's ready for a good time?
So that would be 5, 6, 7, 11.
Time to improvise.
This is 3 and 3. 6, 11. Okay. Send you away. And opponent has priority from the ferry. So 5. Eight and 11. We are going to combat attack our opponent. An opponent minus the fairy.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
We are A-okay with that. So here, I think this is our window.
I'll just come back yesterday.
Here another land, okay.
What do we have here?
Now we only have this spark, abrupt decay. Open and place Mindslaver. And yeah, that's enough for a concession. Good games, Imati. Good games. That Origin Necropsy, discarding, really helped us. And yeah, maybe opponent needed to phase out Psychic Frog at the upkeep, but this is an instant ability, so the result would have been the same. Good games. Kefka Court Mage. We don't have the best score, but maybe Terra Sunder on an artifact will be possible. If not, I guess we can also play Tidus. Well, it's not okay, that's even better for Terra Sunder. Next turn we need a white land if we want to play Cecil. Otherwise we can use Soltire Charm to draw and discard. Since opponent decided to Infernal Grasp, they were kinda sus with the mana they kept up. So I decided not to play anything and instead keep Soltire Charm, which will destroy Fear of Missing Out right here. Now we get Dusky here. And unfortunately that means opponent is gonna resolve Kefka. Okay, we discard an instant, so does opponent. And we get Cecil as well as Thrasios. Toski has to attack. Okay, that's Toxic Deluge. I think we can concede here. Let's see what we draw first. Abrupt Decay. So let's Abrupt Decay Inti and see what happens. Yeah, I think this is extra bad. Opponent can transform Kefka if they want. Oh, they are one turn away. Okay, Lion of the Veil.
I'll have this fight finished before brunch. I've always hated crowds.
And they get their Psychic Frog. Yep. Okay. Against Brizzly Bill. Okay, we have Sword Splasher that should deal with Bill cleanly. So it's just a matter of what else are we gonna be doing. Roaring Earth from opponent. So I think we're gonna let Bill stay for a couple of turns, maybe. Our opponent uses Voice Seiyu on Mana Confluence. Okay, actually, that means we should punish them by getting an untapped white sword. Maybe that I need to get a Temple Garden there. Oof. Nisa with no follow land. Okay, so we get 2 players per Sentinel. And opponent is stuck at... Okay, they got their 4th land there. Which means it's time for Brizzly Bill. Okay, Elysian Caryatid. Here we get Swarm Saboteur, and next turn we're gonna attack with him. See if our opponent wants to trade for Nisa, maybe Bill. And they're gonna be needing trample if they want to get through our board. That is a bushwhack. opponent pays 1. Okay, so they put all the counters on Nisa. Meanwhile, we get a virus beetle, a drop from Cecil, Harvey. Foreign clicks monstrous raider. So we're gonna keep up Obscura Charm. Lumra from opponent. Okay. Okay, let's see how this shapes up. They only get Poseidon. That's actually great for us. So we're gonna destroy Nisa. Double block here and single block here. Yeah, I'm curious to see what opponents kill. Okay, they kill Emetzelch. So we're gonna attack with you 3. That way we're gonna make sure that we get to draw a card. Let's just get it out of the way. Player Malcolm. We are gonna be left with only lands in our hand. Okay, so opponent is gonna put the counters on Bill and Lomra. And it seems like they don't have the gate, which they could use to seek something. And here we're gonna activate Thrasios because we want Saboteur on the defense. Okay, let's take Anguish on making. We exile that. Okay, Bitter Triumph. And yeah, I think we have this one. Tribute to the World Tree. And we're gonna destroy the tribute so opponent doesn't have more card draw. We are the only ones with card draw now. The Revi. Okay, so and we get a Murderous Rider. Opponent can choose to attack. We're gonna jump with a Virus Beetle or even with a cat. Yeah, they see our Murderous Rider. But we also have the Revi, which means we can untap. So we activate Thrasios a bunch of times, or maybe a couple. We play the Revi, we untap all of our lands, and opponent will have nothing. Good games, Bill. Good games.